Our next guest, by the way, was in the hearing today. Joining us now is Republican South Dakota Congressman Dusty Johnson. Congressman, what did you take from the hearing today? Did you get some questions? Were the questions you had answered, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, in part. I mean, I did ask about this culture. I mean, you've got this numbskull employee, and I get it. She's been fired. But she put in writing that her team should avoid Trump houses. Now, when somebody's willing to put something like that in writing, something that dumb, something that cruel, something that indefensible, it does make you wonder about the broader culture. Administrator Criswell, I think the big headline from today is that she did agree with those of us that called for her to reach out to the Inspector General to have an independent review done.
Yeah. What's interesting is the employee who reported this said she was taking her orders from higher ups. I guess this is up to the IG report, but, you know, it suggests there are others higher than her that were, you know, have this political bias.
That's exactly what it suggests, and it's why I don't think we can take Administrator Criswell's word for it. I mean, we're going to have some independent verification, and I would say this is a big reason why there is going to be a new sheriff in town. I think Americans have gotten really frustrated and really sick of government being weaponized. Now, maybe it was only one numbskull, but the reality is that numbskull did weaponize government against Trump supporters. We're going to get a new president, Donald J. Trump. We're going to get a new FEMA administrator, and the Inspector General may find something, but I'll tell you what, the new FEMA administrator is going to create a culture that respects all Americans.
The political bias aside, how would you assess their performance in the aftermath? I'm talking about FEMA in the aftermath of Helene and Milton.
I don't think they got the job done. And I'm not trying to run down the hardworking men and women of FEMA. I know they've got a lot of incredibly dedicated people. But the reality is there were areas of North Carolina where it took 5 days for anybody to show up. For any of us who've been hit by tornadoes or by flooding or by any other natural disaster, every hour that you are left alone feels like an eternity. And if we're going to go spend $90 billion on the North Carolina storms or the broader storms in that area, I think Americans have every right to believe that somebody's going to show up before the better part of a week.
You know, and every year, because of these frequencies and severity of these storms, it seems like FEMA is always running out of money. What about money set aside for COVID? Is there any of that left over that could be used by FEMA?
There was so much COVID money that was just squandered needlessly. I mean, I had a bill a couple years ago that would have swept up $1 trillion of unused COVID funds and would have given states the ability to create behavioral health trust funds. They weren't going to spend the money. They were going to let the corpus grow, use the interest off it. It could have been an incredible investment in addiction, an incredible investment in behavioral health, and it wouldn't have cost the taxpayers one new red cent. Nancy Pelosi wouldn't let it come to the floor because instead she wanted it wasted on all of these pipe dreams that they peddled. Listen, FEMA is not very well run. It has been hemorrhaging cash in a very inefficient way, and that's why I think we're all really interested to see who Donald Trump is going to nominate to be the next administrator.
That's a good place to leave it right there. Congressman Johnson, thank you so much, sir, for your input today. Very interesting stuff. Thank you.